Longhorn fans, Sooner Nation, welcome to episode 213 of the Bevo Podcast, the only podcast exclusively dedicated to covering the greatest rivalry in college football, the University of Texas and the University of Oklahoma. I'm here with my man, Kevin Miller. I am John Whitson. Kevin, August 21st, 2025 will be a red letter day in college football history. It is the day that this man had the foresight, the foreknowledge, the confidence, the expectation in what the University of Oklahoma is, can be, and will be to predict them 10-2. You scoffed at me, Kevin. You scoffed at me 2 weeks ago when I said 10-2. You were having none of it. You said it is more likely that Brent Venables is fired than Oklahoma goes 10-2, and you were wrong.
Yes.
You were wrong. I was right. The University of Oklahoma, with its fantastic victory over Louisiana State, with its resounding, throat-stomping, leave no doubt victory against Louisiana State, it has etched itself in the annals of college football as one of the greatest teams ever. And they will be going to the college football playoff. They will likely be hosting. And Kevin, with this defense, anything can happen in the college football playoff.
Anything can happen.
How do you feel about being so drastically wrong about the University of Oklahoma? How do you feel about having your very knowledge of the game completely erased because of such a bad pick about how they would finish? How does it feel, Kevin? Yes, Texas beat A&M, and that must feel pretty good. But how does it feel to be so terrible at picking schedules?
Now, I am talking to the guy who picked OU to go 11-1 the year they went 6-7, right?
I am unaware of that decision. I'm unaware of that.
That's who I'm talking to, right? The guy who doesn't
I
matter.
don't know. I can't speak to that.
You're going to go 10-2, 11-1, no matter what. But again, it's like the broken clock. You're right twice a day.
I almost went 11-1. I almost went 11-1. Ken, we should have been 11-1. We should have kicked Texas ass. What a disaster that was.
What do you mean you should have? No, you shouldn't have. You wouldn't do it now.
I'm saying that you sucked and we sucked more. And that's the only reason you won that game. That's what I'm saying. We should be 11-1. We should be in the SEC championship game. And with this offense, who knows what we would have done in the SEC championship game, Kevin?
Yeah, that offense, man.
Do you see what I did there?
Yeah, I do, man. Well, let's talk about this game, man. Nail biter. You thought it would be close. I thought you guys would win easily. And you were right about that, man. Like, I mean, you want to talk about a 4-quarter game. But again, you do have a formula for winning with your defense and your special teams. But that offense, man.
Let's start on the defensive side of the ball. We're fantastic.
Yes.
We're fantastic. Early turnover, John Mateer with a bat, got knocked down, whatever. Maybe that's his fault. Maybe it's, I don't know. Gets knocked down. He does knock Harold Perkins out at the 4-yard line, which you texted me as it happened and said that's a huge play.
Yeah.
Then our defense response. Peyton Bowen, all of a sudden, the back half of this season has been the Peyton Bowen that we wanted to see since he signed.
Yeah, since he signed, yeah. He looked like a 5-star.
And he has been a 5-star. He has been fantastic. Games also knocked the play down at the end of the game. Fourth down and 2, he's the guy that knocks the play down.
Correct.
That interception was really good. Not a great pass, doesn't matter. Great interception. Really, really, really good. Athletic, right spot, right time. Defensively, we're really, really good. And we didn't have our Mason Thomas. We still don't have Kendall Dolby. We still don't have Gentry Williams, although I think our corners do a pretty good job. There's a lot there.
Yeah, your secondary has really improved as the season's gone on.
I think, though, it's safe to say LSU is terrible.
They're horrible offensively, man.
That's a bad offensive football team.
That's why Brian Kelly got fired, really. Their offense is so bad.
There were times in the game, Kevin, where we had 7 guys on the line of scrimmage and we're manning up everybody else with no threat, no thought that they were going to throw it over the top on us.
Yep. None whatsoever.
And they capitalized on another interception to get a touchdown, I think. I'm almost positive. I wrote that down. And they made some opportunistic plays, I guess, when they needed to kind of keep the game close. And they've got a good kicker. The wind did not affect the kicking. But that's a bad – so we can talk all we want about how good OU's defense is. And, dude, they could be historically good. They're, like, really, really, really good.
Really good.
They're the best defense since 2001 for Oklahoma.
Maybe 2003.
Maybe 2003. Really, 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 really good. It's hard to know how good we were in 2003 because we did have the Heisman Trophy winner. So you don't know what that does, on the other side of the ball. But that's
man.
No, they were good. No. Really, 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 really good. Nothing to show for it, but they were really, really, really good. But this is LSU, man, and they're just terrible. Just god awful.
Really bad offense, man.
So,
really.
I mean, Western Kentucky held LSU in Baton Rouge to the same number of points that OU held them to. So I'm all for patting ourselves on the back, and we got to win. And here's the problem. This is what Oklahoma does to me, is there are going to be people that listen to this, and they're going to say, why is he so negative after making the playoffs? Because it's Oklahoma, Kevin.
Yeah.
Because I'm not happy with just sliding in anywhere.
Well, okay? And the thing is, we
should have beat their ass down.
Correct.
And we just didn't. We did not do it.
Yeah. And if you're taking a big picture approach here, when you look at this defense, you say, okay, well, this defense is actually good enough. Our defense and special teams, your defense and special teams is good enough to win a national championship. But when you look at the offense, it's like this thing can potentially hold us back from doing something special this year.
Absolutely. Now let's shift to the offense. Special teams was fine. Satania had a good return. Sandell.
I think your special teams were better than fine.
Well, Sandell with the game-winning tackle.
Correct.
If you watch that on that 4th down, on that kickoff after the touchdown.
He was going to score. He was going to score if he wouldn't.
Which would have been. Yeah. Which was going to be classic Oklahoma if he scored. Like I've lived through games like that with Oklahoma. So that take Sandell, special teams, Satania on special teams. Even little things like fielding the ball, it hits Jacoby in the head, he gets on it, or somebody else gets on it. But the wind was really tough. So just fielding the ball in those situations was the he was good. He was really, really good. Okay, offensively. Most offensive output in any SEC game this year, 393 yards. John Mateer, 23 of 38, 318 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. If we leave it there, Kevin, that's a hell of a stat line for John Mateer.
Yeah, sounds like he had a great game
against an LSU defense that is good.
Very good.
They are good. We saw what they did to Lagway at Florida, although that was before we knew how bad Florida was. But like they held Alabama really low. Like LSU has been a very stingy, opportunistic defense all year. So to see 23 of 38, 318, and 2 touchdowns, you're thinking, well, holy crap. Maybe we got something to work with here. He had 3 interceptions. The first one was tipped. The next 2 were god-awful decisions.
Correct. Horrible.
He has the second one was off the heels of a really nice play to Giovanni Gibson.
Correct.
Really nice. We got some momentum. We're on the plus side of the field. You're thinking, this first half was whatever it was. Let's just go win this game. And he tries to throw it to Jared Kanak across the middle when he's triple covered. And then on top of that, he underthrows.
Yeah, predetermining reads. Never good.
Well, predetermined reads and bad mechanics are awful.
A bad combination, man.
And that's what we were dealing with, were predetermined reads and bad mechanics. Because if you're going to make that throw, then throw it up, throw it. I guess he was kind of behind the defense. I'd have to see the all 22 again. I guess kind of he was behind the defense. You can't try to bullet in there with 3 LSU guys, right? I mean, it's just, that was really, really bad. That was bad. Then on the ensuing drive that OU gets after going down, because I think they kick a field goal at this point, or maybe they score. No, maybe that's when they scored the touchdown.
Yeah, they get the touchdown.
We're again driving the ball, and Giovanni Gibson was one-on-one on the outside. Again, predetermined read, I think so, because he's got the one-on-one coverage, combined with bad mechanics. Why are you trying to zip that ball in there? Let Giovanni Gibson get behind him. Throw the ball high and outside and give your receiver a chance to make the play. I think it was a bad throw, maybe even worse than a bad decision, because there's nobody else there. One-on-one is usually a win for the receiver. Hell, half the time you draw a pass interference call. Although there was a couple pass interference calls we didn't get, which whatever. The SEC officiating sucks. We can talk about that.
It's really bad, man.
That's just a blanket statement. They're just terrible. So whatever. But that was a bad throw, right? Even more than a bad decision. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yes, correct. Bad decision and a bad throw.
And
the decision wasn't horrible, but the throw was, I mean, and you're going up against a 6'4" corner and DJ Pickett, who was really talented, man. I thought he was the best player in the country last year. Come out of high school.
You're right. I knew that guy was out there, and you're right. I should have known that was him. Even more the reason maybe why you don't throw it there. Maybe you let him be the clear out. But regardless, the 2 were really bad. What's your thoughts on the tipped one? Is that a material issue, or is that offensive line issue not getting?
I mean, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that just happens. Sometimes you're blocking. The defensive lineman knows he's going to get there. They just toss to jump and put their hands up.
So we give him a pass. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But the other 2 were terrible. Okay. At this point in the game, Kevin, if you're an Oklahoma fan and you were not texting your friends or posting on X or asking your family that's sitting right next to you, shouldn't we put Michael Hawkins in? You're a freaking liar. Because
I even asked, I was like, not that they should have put him in, but I said, when are the fans going to start? Yeah. When are the fans going to start chanting for Michael Hawkins?
It started then. With that interception, there was a legit question in every Oklahoma fan's mind is, do we see Hawkins? Do we see Hawkins? And now, pause. He comes in, really well executed play to Deion Burks for a touchdown. Boom, we're right back in this game. Then he gets bailed out with LSU just having the biggest bust of the year.
Biggest bust of the season.
Not only is it a bust, but it's a bust to the best player on the field yesterday with Satania. And it's not close. That guy has been I don't know where we'd be if we didn't. You talk about Texas not picking guys up in the portal. I have no idea where we'd be if we didn't have Satania. Biggest bust of the year. Easy throw, easy catch, easy score. Bailed out. We win the game. Look, dude, we're in the playoffs. Okay? We had to go to Tennessee. We had to go to Alabama. We had to beat Missouri. We had to go to South Carolina before we knew they sucked. We had to beat Michigan. All this talk from Texas fans, not you, but from a lot of Texas fans. Why did we schedule? If Oklahoma doesn't schedule Michigan, they're not in the playoff. It's that simple. If they're one of the 10-2 teams and they're talking about eye test with Oklahoma, they're not in the playoff. Vanderbilt's ahead of them. You disagree?
Maybe so. No. I'm just thinking, just processing. Keep going.
Okay, go ahead and process that statement because I think it's real. So, look, Oklahoma, what a hell of a season. I mean, yes, I
Great
talk
season.
about picking us 10-2. Dude, did you know that's a homer pick? I know that's a homer pick. We had no business being 10-2. Then Mateer goes and gets hurt, and we're still 10-2. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable what we've been able to accomplish. Okay? But
Especially
guess
with what
what?
you got out of Mateer for the whole season.
100%. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Now we're in the playoffs, and I am not going to be satisfied with going to get our ass kicked in the first round of the playoffs. That's not Oklahoma. And if it is, you got to figure something else out. So my question to you is, should Michael Hawkins be a real consideration, not to start, but to be ready to roll in whoever we face in the first playoff game if Mateer gives a performance like he gave yesterday through 3 quarters?
I mean, if you're desperate, yes. But man, I guess if you had seen anything from Michael Hawkins this season that gave you any sort of confidence, he was so bad in the game he played.
I don't disagree.
That's the issue, right? He showed some things last year. Like if you'd have gotten an Auburn-like performance, even like from last year, where he was good enough and didn't do anything to hurt the team, and this is probably unfair, but I just keep thinking back to him running Keontez Lewis into the brick wall
Yeah,
in the
it's
back
hard
of
to
the end
unsee
zone.
that. It's hard to unsee
Yeah,
that, and I agree.
it is. It
Look,
is.
a
So
healthy Keontez Lewis, when you're playing Texas and Mississippi, would have made. I'm not saying he's the X factor, but it sure would have helped.
it certainly helps when you have
Sure
another
would have
weapon out
helped.
there. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think about Michael Hawkins' dad? Now the post has since been deleted. I don't know that
Okay.
matters. We all saw
I
it.
didn't see the post. I know I didn't. You told me about it. I actually went on. I couldn't find it. What did it say?
If it wasn't for money and something else, he didn't mention anything else really negative, if you know what I mean. But if it
Okay.
wasn't for money and something else, he would have gotten in that game.
Interesting.
I guess money, maybe. I don't think it's money. I think it was. Look, Brent Venables said in his post-game press conference that he never considered
making the
switch. I think he's lying. I think he's lying. I don't know how he didn't see his performance in the third quarter and think, should I make the call?
Yeah.
Because this is our playoff hopes right here.
Correct. Everything's on the line here.
Everything is on the line, and we need a spark offensively. And what he said, now, I think he's lying. I think he did consider it. And I think his rationale was very simple. This is a one-score game. And you don't make a change when it's a one-score game.
Correct. Yeah. We weren't desperate yet.
We're not desperate. It was 6 minutes to go in the game or whatever.
They were so inept offensively. That's 100%. Why when Mateer ran Harold Perkins out of bounds at the 4-yard line, I was like, that is huge. Because I knew that they probably would score a touchdown there.
Yeah.
When Sandell, tackled or at least got a hand on the shoulder of Barry and Brown on the sideline there, forced him out of bounds, I was telling Kate that's huge right there. Because I don't trust him to score. When you guys took the lead, got the ball down, I'm like, they're going to screw this up. This is a team with a horrible offense led by an interim coach. They're screwing up the clock. They're screwing up substitutions. They're having to take timeouts. Yeah, they're running guys on and off the field when y'all are in tempo. Just utter incompetence. Another reason why, as a Texas fan, people are like, oh, we need this and this. I'm like, man, I told you when we did the preview episode, I'm not worried about any of that. As far as I'm concerned, we're out. You cannot rely on interim coach teams to beat some of the better teams in the country in order for you to get a playoff berth.
Yeah.
So there was no way once y'all got up that they were going to go down and get a touchdown. It was not going to happen.
Unless they scored on the kickoff.
Correct. They were taking something like that, but their offense was not going to go down the field and get a touchdown to win that game against that defense. It was never.
I don't disagree. All right.
Okay, real quick. But on Hawkins, first of all, I understand where his father's coming from. You want to see your son out there. You think your son can do better at that moment than what's happening. And you got to remember too, Michael Hawkins Sr. is a Sooner as well, right? So it's
So you're saying he had the same thoughts we did. It's just that simple.
correct.
And he also
Yeah.
happens to be his dad.
Yes, so he's invested. He's doubly invested.
Yeah.
So I understand where he's coming from.
The problem is he's not wrong.
No,
He's not wrong.
he's not.
He might be wrong. He might have been proved wrong, maybe.
Yeah.
But Mateer looked like crap in the third quarter, bro. He was awful.
He was horrible. Yes.
And again, great. Here's the problem. I felt it got so bad yesterday offensively. Let's go back to the first half, where there was that sequence of plays where we go for it on fourth down. And the play is just perfectly drawn up. I mean, it is just, there isn't anybody within 20 yards of Caden Helms. He rolls him out of the backfield so nicely. I mean, it is just.
It's a great design. It's a great design.
It's a great design. That's a Sark design. That's a DeBoer design. That's a Ryan Day design. You pick your play caller and your play designer, and that's the level of play that is on 4th and 2. It's exactly what you want. And he should have been running for 25 yards, and who knows what happens after that. And yet, we can't make a simple pass. And this is the notes I wrote down. Oklahoma fan saw that happen from March Manning at the beginning of the year, and we roasted Arch.
Right, missing layups.
He is not talented. He's small school. His only reason he's playing is Arch Manning. He's got the yips. He cannot complete short passes. This is awful. This is terrible. When is Texas going to make the change? Dude, that's what it looked like through 3 quarters yesterday.
Correct. Yeah. And it's like at this point in the season, you are who you are, right? I mean,
there were
week
other
14.
Kevin, there were other plays where Arbuckle is like, they want to be mad at Arbuckle. If you want to be mad at Arbuckle, how about your running backs only got a combined 17 carries in a 1-score game? You want to be mad at Arbuckle. I thought Blaylock tried to get some things going, and
He did. He ran hard. He did.
I felt like they didn't keep feeding him when maybe they should have. That's neither here nor there. That's if you want to be mad at Arbuckle, lack of commitment to the running game, I still think is probably at the top of my list. But not play design, Kevin. Not play design.
No, the screen pass he scored on was great.
Dude, they're open, man. All he's got to do is hit them. All he's got to do is hit him. On the one with Cannon that he threw, he's got a guy where Satania's wide open. He's wide open, 10 yards down the field to the right. Just easy pitch and catch. But to your point,
he's making reads. And I guess
he's not
I don't understand.
Reads. He's not making reads. They're predetermined, like you said.
Correct. And I guess the concerning thing, too, is that it's not like your offensive line has been sucking in pass pro. I thought you guys were really good in pass pro yesterday.
They were totally fine with a backup center, with Nawu at center.
Yeah, and like no problem at all.
And having to run Simmons out there the whole time. Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I don't know. It's not like he's rushed, because Arch a lot of times he's feeling so uncomfortable because he's getting hit a lot. That's what, at least early in the season. No, the pockets were clean.
And that's with Harold Perkins on the other side.
Yeah.
Who is a stud.
He is.
All right. Look, Oklahoma's in the playoff. We got more to talk about, but we got to talk about the University of Texas. Look, dude, here you called it. You called it. You said if this game's close, A&M is going to little brother this situation, and they're going to find a way to lose. Now, Arch looked like Arch in the second half. Looked like, when I say looked like Arch, he looked like what you expected him to look like. He darn near missed Ryan Wingo in the end zone. He darn near missed him, but that was a heck of a catch. My God, it was more of a catch than a throw. That catch was, for him to contort his body back and then still get a foot down, that was fantastic.
Right. It's a play that he doesn't make early in the season.
And then the run by Arch, great play call, and you can see how athletic he is. But my God, A&M, have somebody up the middle. Like I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, them not spying Arch, I don't understand that.
Elko
Arch
lost
has
that.
to be. You have to spy Arch. You
I
have
give
to.
Texas. I'm not taking away anything from as much as I give Texas a hard time. I'm not taking away anything from Texas winning that game. I think you looked like the better team. But A&M didn't do itself any favors. I mean,
No,
that's it. They played really dumb, right? It was
they
like
did.
they made
Mhm.
it was really dumb decisions, really dumb play calls, really dumb defensive alignment. Um, and Elko got out coached. Like he just got out coached
He
by
did.
Sark, which hasn't been the
He did.
case all year with Sark. Hasn't been the
And
case
going
all year.
into this, you know, I just didn't feel like they had really been tested, right? I mean, they did beat Notre Dame. We'll give them credit for that. And I
Yeah,
did when we did the
let's talk
preview,
about that. We'll talk about Notre Dame.
but then, Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, at LSU was horrible. Missouri, again, with their true freshman quarterback plan, the comeback win against South Carolina, then Sanford. It just felt like they hadn't really been in it since the beginning of the season. And of course, Texas was desperate. So, yeah, it was going to take a lot for them to come to Austin and win. And the advantages that they had, they didn't really take advantage of them, right?
Yep.
They did not, they got some pressure on Arch in the first half, but they didn't dominate the game from a defensive standpoint. And then, of course, rivalry game legend for Texas, Trey Wisner, of course, has his best game of the year against A&M, 155 yards off 19 carries.
Remember what I told
What?
you?
Yeah.
Remember what I told you? We talked about this. I think it was after the game, maybe not during. It was after the game. It wasn't Arch that won y'all that game. It was
No.
Trey Wiseman. It was
Yeah.
Sark finally running the ball. And dude, where has that been all year? Like, if you're a Texas fan, and I'm getting excited about it because that's the kind of stuff I want to see from Oklahoma. But dude, we're talking, we're pulling tackles, you're pulling guards.
Yeah, running counter, outside zone.
Oh my God. And dudes
Yeah.
were headhunting people. Like, that's the most aggressive I've seen your offensive line all year. And I just look at it and go, Oklahoma, pay attention. Like, this is what a running game can do, because it broke down A&M. And that's what opened up Arch's run, Arch's big pass. Like, those plays were available because Wisner went off because y'all committed to running him. And not only did you run him, but you ran him with some creativity and some energy. It wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, right?
Listen, the only two games we've done that, with him is against Oklahoma and A&M. Yeah. And the 4 best games of his career have come in those games, which is wild.
Well, good for you, Trey Wisner. I'm glad you have good games against Oklahoma. But it's the truth. It's like run the ball, Sark. I mean,
yes, run the football.
He runs the ball like that against Florida, and it's we're not even talking about the playoff right now.
Correct.
Correct.
But yeah,
you're talking about the playoff, but you're probably in the SEC championship game. That was probably that was probably for a spot in the SEC championship game. If you run the ball like that against Florida. Does Florida have a better defense? Does Florida have a better defensive line than A&M?
I don't think so. No.
I mean, you did it against Oklahoma, and Oklahoma stopped everybody in the run.
Correct. Yes, his second best game was against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't understand why it takes these kind of games for Sark to go to the outside zone running game. Maybe they just didn't prep for it. I don't think you guys are prepped for it because we hadn't ran it all year. Because Sark, again, we talked about this, calling the offense he wants instead of the one that he had. He called the offensive game plan for the offense that he has on Friday against A&M. And it worked. A&M, as far as they're concerned, what do you think? We kept them out of the SEC championship game. And trust me, they wanted to win the SEC championship.
Oh, absolutely.
They might say, we're just happy to be in the playoff, and they are. But they wanted to play for an SEC title. They've been in the league all these years, and they haven't played for it yet. So they wanted this, and obviously they want nothing more than to beat Texas. So it's a huge, huge loss for them. Do you think they can bounce back? Do you think they'll be fine in the playoff, or do you think this kind of, derails their season a bit from a mental standpoint?
Well, Um, as far as postseason awards go, I think it kills Marcel Reed's chance at the Heisman.
For sure.
So
Which I
it's
never thought
I
he's
think
gonna be in
that's
Canada anyway, but
well, I know, but
this
they
is a
were trying to
weird this is
make
a weird year.
it's a
They
weird
are.
year. They're trying to
It is
make
a
it work.
very, very weird year. I don't know.
But it derails that. Number two, is it confirmation that we didn't think they'd ever been tested?
Yes, I do think that for sure. For sure.
Yes, they beat Notre Dame. We're going to talk about Notre Dame, but and Notre Dame might be a different team than they were back then, or better or worse. I don't know. And it was a good win. You can't take the win away from them. But outside of that, they played nobody. Outside
No,
of Texas, they played nobody in the top half of the bracket. They didn't play Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, um, Ole Miss. I mean, nobody.
correct.
Nobody.
Yes.
And so when you don't play anybody, it's hard to know how good they are. Now, is that their fault? No, they play the schedule that's in front of them.
Correct. Yeah.
But you go get knocked in the mouth and you don't respond, because that's what happened to Texas. They got knocked in the mouth and they didn't respond in the second half.
Exactly.
And they
Exactly.
had
The receivers, those who I've been praising all year, Concepcion had a couple plays, nice plays in the first half, receiving the ball, and he had a nice punt return too. But 5 for 57 for him, 5 for 44 for Mario Craver. I mean, PK really just controlled Colin Klein, and he has every time they've gone up against each other.
well,
Kind of
A and
like
M.
Herbie and Sark, right? Like
A&M had a chance at the end of the first half to kind of take control of the game,
they did.
and Texas got out of there, right, and was able to go to halftime. What was the halftime score?
It was 10-3 or 10-6, I believe.
Yeah, it was 10-6, but they
10-6.
had a chance to make it 14-6 and get the ball back
Yeah.
after half. And I think that was huge for Texas to kind of limit that, keep it within a one-score game. I guess it would have still been with them, but you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't. As far as what it does to A&M, I think it could be who they play, depending on where they ranked. Right, they're going to be fifth, sixth, or fifth or sixth
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. I expect them to host still.
So
But
yeah, I mean, look, dude, if they host North Texas, then
can you
yeah,
imagine that?
they're
Can
fine.
you imagine that? Yeah.
But they're fine, right? They're not going to get. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
get pushed by North Texas. But if
No.
somehow, and if they fall to sixth and they host Duke, yeah, they're beating Duke. So I think A&M is going to continue to get the benefit of a pretty
Hey, look, if you
crappy
get the 5 seed,
schedule.
I told you last year, the 5 seed is what you want, man.
Oh, in this case, I think 5 or 6 is really good, right? I
Yeah.
think 5 or 6 gets you in a really good spot. And I think that's probably where A&M falls.
Yeah.
Because I think, we'll talk about the playoff, but I think Ohio State, Indiana, I think the lowest Ohio State or Indiana falls is 5th, right? Like they're not falling.
I don't even
And
know
they
if they
might
fall out
not
of
fall out. And
4.
they might not fall out of the top 4.
I don't think they fall out of the top 4.
You don't think so?
Yeah. No.
Georgia could fall to 6th, I think. Georgia could fall behind A&M if
Yeah.
Alabama beats them. Although after that performance, I'm not sure Alabama beats them. But anyway, look, it's not a successful year for Texas.
No.
However, if
It's not a
somebody told
disaster either,
if somebody told you
but
9-3, and you beat OU and A&M,
correct.
you're not like pounding them.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not a disaster, but it's a disappointment.
well,
I
it's
don't
the
care about the preseason number 1. I
no,
you
no,
know,
no, no.
when we talked about this, I'm like, well, somebody's got to be number 1. They're gonna put us there, whatever. Like, who cares? I don't
It's
care.
a Florida game. It's a Florida
Correct.
game.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and that's kind of called. Sometimes we call that the SEC tax, and Kirby talks about that. They went to Ole Miss and got beat down last year, and he was just like after the game, he was like, "Hey man, road games in the SEC. Sometimes you're gonna play against a team. Thing about playing in the SEC is that You go on the road in these environments, they're wild environments. And even if a team sucks, Florida sucks,
Yeah.
right? But they still have dudes. And if you catch them on their day, where everything just works out, where they're fired up, they got a great game plan. You come out a little flat, you can lose. And that's what happened to Texas. You got
Yeah.
against a bad Florida team and then Dallas Wilson had his debut and just went nuts against our secondary. I don't know if he's done anything since, but
Yeah.
he looked
Well,
like I
did he
said,
play last
he
night?
looked like
They
Jeremiah
rolled.
Smith.
Did they play
They
last
beat the
night? Because
crap
he rolled
out of Florida State.
Yeah, because they
I
rolled
haven't
Florida
seen.
State.
I've got the box score here, but I haven't looked at it yet. But yeah, so yeah, we got man. We weren't ready to go. They clearly were, and the coach who ended up getting fired had his one last,
Hurrah. Yep.
hurrah against Texas. Yeah, and it cost you a spot in the playoff in all likelihood. So it happens, man. But we got to bounce back and get better, reload the roster, and make sure what happened this year doesn't happen again in the offseason.
Kevin, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors. Brown O'Haver, public insurance adjusters, work for the insured, not the insurance company. If you are listening to this, and if you or someone you know has had a loss to their home or business that they've had to file an insurance claim on, you want to call Brown O'Haver. They routinely get their clients 30 to 40% more than they get on their own. They're the OU defense of the public insurance adjusting world. You want to call Brown O'Haver, 405-735-5510. Let them work for you. Kevin, who are you in for?
And for Pioneer Roofing, John, we talked about the hailstorm that came through the Oklahoma City metro area recently, caused a lot of damage. If you were affected by that storm, or if you feel like you may just need a new roof, if it's been some time, you want to know, the status of your roof, if you may need a repair or replacement, give Pioneer Roofing a call. They'll come out. They will give you a very free inspection. They will let you know. Some of these guys, it's crazy. The Better Business Bureau talks about that roofers are the least trusted of all contractors. And I understand why, because there's some shady ones out there. But Pioneer Roofing, we're a local company based right here in Oklahoma, out of Norman. Again, give you a free inspection, let you know if you need a new roof or if you don't need a new roof, right? Your roof could be just fine. So give them a call. They'll come out, 405-549-2712.
There you go. Very free, guys. Very free.
Very free.
Not just
100% free. No
Kevin,
strings attached.
not just free. Very free.
Very free, yeah. No strings, no gimmicks. Give them a call.
Do you want to recap scores or talk coaching carousel first? What do you want to do first? I'll let you choose.
Let's talk the scores, man, because we're going to talk about how this all winds up for the playoffs, and then we'll get into this coaching craziness.
All right. Starting with the Friday games, Indiana continues to roll 56-3 over Purdue. My God.
They're so impressive, man.
I really hope they beat down Ohio State.
They're locked in. They're just all the way locked in, Indiana.
God,
and they have been all year.
They're really, really good. Georgia against Georgia Tech. Georgia had to hold on to this game. This was an ugly, what do they call this? Good old-fashioned clean hate?
Yeah, clean old-fashioned hate, something like that.
What a stupid name. Is that the dumbest name for a rivalry you've ever heard?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also have the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
I like that better than old, clean, old-fashioned
hate.
I don't even know what that means. Georgia Tech gave them a run. They just didn't have it in them.
Correct. Not enough talent there.
Ole Miss, we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss beats Mississippi State 38-19. Look, Trinity and Shambles, I don't know why he's not getting talked about for the Heisman. I'm like the only person thinking that he should be included in the Heisman race, but he is a stud. They're 11 and
known before the season.
It has to be, Kevin. It has to be. They're 11-1. Mississippi State's almost never been 11-1. If they have, it's been a really long time. And he is an absolute stud. And he diced up Mississippi State. And I don't get it. I don't get why. I would get if he doesn't win. That's fine. I'm not saying he's a lock, but why he's not in the top three? on a lot of people's ballots. I just don't understand.
Correct.
What are we talking about?
Especially this year. It's not like, we've got
Yeah,
Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and Adrian
Jason
Peterson.
White and Adrian
Yeah,
Peterson. Yeah,
come on.
yeah. So I find that to be odd. But Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Again, we're going to get to Lane. Utah beats KU 31-21. They finished 10-2.
Yeah, good
We're going
season
to
for
talk
them.
about. We're going to talk about 10-2 teams. That's going to be a big discussion point. Arizona beats ASU 23-7. I guess ASU didn't have Levitt.
Yes, he's transferring, right? Did he say he's leaving?
I don't know. That sucks for them,
He said
though.
yeah, it really does.
Texas Tech, in its largest road conference win ever, beats West Virginia 49-0.
They're locked in too, man.
Indiana and Tech might be the two teams I don't want to see in the playoff.
I understand that.
I think at this point, I would rather see Ohio State or Georgia than Indiana or Texas Tech. Maybe that's a crazy statement, but these guys are hungry and they're nuts. Both teams are nuts.
And at least if you're playing Ohio State or Georgia, you're going to be just locked in, focused, because you know what they're about. Texas Tech, Texas Tech, like, how good can they be? There's a team we used to slap around in the Big 12. That could be the mindset of at least the fans and maybe even some of the players.
BYU did beat UCF 41-21 to set up a rematch in the Big 12 championship game. You brought it up, a 12.5-point spread for Texas Tech. Look, I think Texas Tech's the favorite. Okay? I just don't understand why we continue to discount BYU.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Texas Tech shouldn't be a 4, 5, 5.5-point favorite. They should. They're in Texas. They're a better. We think they're a better team, and they beat BYU before.
Yes.
Dude, all BYU's done is won all the rest of their games, and I don't think they had their starting tailback against Texas Tech. Am I remembering that right?
I think you are right.
I just, against the spread, BYU's been really, really good. It's just shocking to me. Not shocking might be a strong word. It's just crazy to me that they're a 12.5-point dog in a championship game. I think I favor Texas Tech, but I don't know that I favor them 12.5 points.
Yeah, it's an interesting spread. We'll see what Vegas is on to, because that's a giant spread.
Oregon beats Washington 26-14. Oregon secures themselves a spot in the playoff by all accounts. Notre Dame, who we're going to talk about here in a minute when we talk about two lost teams, rolls Stanford 49-20 after beating Syracuse the previous week 70-0 or some crazy score. Alabama, with 3 minutes to go in the game, 4th down and 2 from the 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Kayla DeBoer says, let's go for it, which just seems incredibly stupid when all you need is a field goal to go up a score. Whatever. Ty Simpson with a bullet of a pass to go up 27-20. Even then, Auburn marching. And the supposed transfer portal prize of the year, Cam Coleman, with just an inexplicable fumble, Kevin. They would have been like at the 10 with a chance to tie and maybe go ahead.
Too much. Trying to make the play. Yeah, he's trying to do a little too much there.
Oh, look, Alabama was up 20-0 this game. I thought the game was over. I still don't even know how Auburn came back, but they did, and it was fun.
The Iron Bowl, man. That's why, because it's the Iron Bowl.
Especially Jordan Hare, right? Jordan Hare. Stuff that's weird. Are you a little surprised by the go for the touchdown?
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, because with Auburn's offense, you figure if you get a field goal, that would have been enough. But he clearly didn't think so. He thought that they needed 7 there.
And the way Auburn was moving the ball, I think he was right.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought his defense was just gassed after what they had given up to that point.
And he fumbled at the 27, by the way.
Oh, it was
27 yards. But still, that's still a great spot to be in. You're
Well, we saw
yeah.
what Alabama did last year. Was it last year against Auburn or 2 years ago? From the
Oh yeah.
27 on fourth and
The
whatever.
Yeah, 2 years ago, 4th and 30. It was from the 31. 4th and goal from the 31.
So yeah, the 27's nothing in that game. It's nothing.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, fantastic. Talked about BYU. Miami beats Pitt 38-7.
Hey, give them
Convincing
credit,
win.
man. We didn't think they had it in them to go on the road in the cold and but they really controlled that game. 38-7.
They control the game. The question, again, we're going to talk about these 10-2 teams. The question for Miami is, if you can't even make a conference championship game that includes Virginia and 7-5 Duke, I'm not sure how you're allowed in the playoff.
Hey, I got no arguments there.
Who'd they lose to? Louisville and SMU?
Louisville and SMU. Yep.
And then SMU goes and dropped the egg against Cal, a terrible Cal team with an interim coach.
Yeah.
Right?
They just fired the coach last week.
38-35.
On Monday.
You let Cal score 38 points on you to keep you out of an ACC title game and a potential playoff shot.
Correct.
And I just don't understand. Virginia rolled Virginia Tech. They held up their end of the bargain. So it's going to be Virginia and Duke.
Duke is 7-5, by the way.
7-5, by the way. If Duke wins, is there any chance? And I'm not joking when I say this. Is there? And I don't think the answer. I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to ask: is there any chance that Tulane and James Madison keep Duke out?
Yes, I think there is a chance, right? Because it's, what do they say, the 5 highest rated conference champions. That's what it is.
I'm not sure Duke would
And
be
if Duke
rated.
wins a game, no, it's 7-5.
Well, they get a quality win over Virginia to go to 8-5. Would that be enough to rank? They would rank them ahead of James Madison, right?
You think so?
But
you would think so. But
but are they better than James
what are
Madison?
we doing? Probably not. I don't know.
Look,
because nobody knows. Because nobody's watching Duke play. Because nobody cares.
If Duke beats Virginia, I would be okay with an emergency meeting from the playoff committee that says Miami gets in over Duke.
Yes.
However,
yes.
They're not allowed to do that, I guess. And so I just don't know how you're going to get Miami in over. You can't even win your own conference. You can't even get the conference championship game.
Play for it. You play for it.
Yeah, it's what are we doing? Anyway, there we go.
Yeah.
And then Tulane beat Charlotte 27-0.
And I'm looking at Duke's schedule. I mean, here are their wins: NC State, Syracuse, Cal. They did beat Clemson, but I mean, that really saying much. They're not ranked. North Carolina, Wake Forest.
Oh, terrible. And Wake Forest had a chance to beat them yesterday.
They did.
Our picks, Kevin, you went 3-2, correctly picking Texas, Ohio State, and Ole Miss. I went 2-3, correctly picking LSU to cover and Ole Miss to cover. You improved 27-41-2. I am at 37-30-1.
This year's the Twilight Zone, man.
All right, let's talk playoffs. Oh no, let's talk coaches. Let's talk coaching carousel. All right, it is 11:13 on Sunday, November 30th, for those of you who will be listening later. The Lane Kiffin saga is still ongoing. I have refreshed Twitter a couple of times and have not seen any updates, at least at this point. All indications is that Kiffin's going to LSU.
Correct.
Now, there was a meeting with the athletic director and other members from Ole Miss last night where apparently a conversation was had that Lane wanted to continue to coach Ole Miss. At that point in time, they still had a chance of making the SEC championship game, wanted to coach Ole Miss in the SEC championship game if it happened, and then also in the playoffs before heading to Baton Rouge. I will allow you to have your thoughts first because I have very strong thoughts on this. If he goes to LSU, which all indications are, should he be allowed, or would you allow him to stay and coach your team?
I don't think so, man. I think a lot of this is going to depend on the players and what they think.
Indications earlier is the players via Twitter, the players are in quotation marks extremely pissed at Lane Kiffin. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just want to give you that context.
If that's the case, okay. If that's the case, then no. If you're deciding that you're going to leave a playoff team, you don't get to decide to coach them. You don't have the right to coach them unless the players overwhelmingly want you to continue to coach them. If you wanted to coach them, you would just stay there and be their coach.
All right. Just as some context, because we had this discussion off air. By all accounts, it appears that Florida is going to be hiring John Sumrall from Tulane. Very much a playoff contention. Also, yes. Oklahoma State already has hired Eric Morris from North Texas. Okay, they will be playing each other in the AAC championship game for a chance to go to the playoff. Now, Tulane in North Texas, I keep saying by all accounts. I don't want to keep meaning to repeat myself, but it appears that they're going to let them coach through whatever it is. Kevin, that's because they're Tulane and North Texas. That's because their trips to the playoffs are few and far between. That's because their players never believed in their minds that they were going to be in a college football playoff when they signed up to play at Tulane in North Texas.
Correct.
That's because their fan bases, in all seriousness, are happy that they had a coach good enough to want to be hired by Florida, right? Like, they can't even believe their luck when it comes to that. So they're willing to say, thank you, coach, for all that you've done. We wish you well. And these players are saying, thank you, coach, for getting us noticed on the national stage. And if you'll take some of us to your next job, we'll play as hard as we can for you. Oh, that's Tulane in North Texas. This is a very different situation. This is in conference, SEC, big time money, big time decisions with players that expect to be whatever. You cannot, under any circumstances, allow a coach to leave your program and then continue to coach there when they're building a staff, amassing talent through the portal, actively recruiting through the portal. It can't happen, Kevin. You can't let it happen.
No. Nah, he's got to go. He's got to go and go now. If you want to go, go. You want to go to LSU, go to LSU and start recruiting.
You don't get to have your cake, right? You don't get to have your cake and eat it too in this situation. You just don't. And look, people, and when I say people, media members, this very low-level podcaster, everybody around us said, you stay at Ole Miss. You've got a chance to be a legend in Oxford, Mississippi. Okay? You got a chance to win a national championship this year. And what are we talking about? Okay? We're talking about what school gives us the best chance to win a national championship. Right now, Ole Miss gives you the best chance to win a national championship.
Yeah, especially this year. I mean, you have a chance to win it this year because we talked about this. There's not that one crazy dominant team as good as Ohio State is.
As good as they are. So I'm sorry if this is like the toughest decision you've ever had, and all my family this and all my family that, and I got to make the best decision and feel bad for me, and what would my dad say? Blah 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 blah. Rest in peace, Monty Kiffin. All that, it doesn't matter, dude. You put yourself in this position. You've built this team. These should be your guys. If you are really that heartbroken about it, maybe it's a sign that you shouldn't leave.
Correct. Yeah, and it's fine. Like, if you want to stay, then stay. It's great. Great. They'd love to have you continue to be their football coach. But if you're going to go to LSU, then go to LSU.
Yeah. And Herb Street was on game day yesterday talking about they should let him coach. He is out of his mind. Do you think an Ohio State, he has the luxury of being an alumnus of Ohio State. Do you think Ohio State's letting a coach that's leaving them ever coach for them? They're not even putting up with this charade, right?
Correct.
They're
Yes.
not even putting up with it. They got fired him 2 weeks ago for cause.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Like if Ryan Day was going to take a move in conference, not like he's going to the NFL. Ryan Day's, hey, I'm going to go be the head coach of the New England Patriots. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to Penn State. Can I coach? No, you're out of here. No. If you're going to go to Penn State, then go to Penn State. If you cared about this, you're bailing on a playoff team.
And he made the comment that the players will want him to stay. Now, again, these are all rumors. This is just X stuff. So I don't really know. But I think when you assume that players, 20, 21, 22-year-old guys are just okay with you up and leaving them at the end of the season after you've preached family and togetherness and unity and loyalty and hard work and stick with it, and we have a chance to win a national championship, and this is what we're playing for, and we're all in this together, and you think they're okay with you up and leaving?
To go to a conference rival?
To go to a conference rival, because what you're telling them is you aren't good enough.
Yes.
That's what there's nothing else to it. You're literally looking at them and saying, except for maybe a couple of you wide receivers and maybe a defensive lineman who I'm going to recruit in the portal, and we'll have those conversations offline. The rest of you, I mean, you're Ole Miss, right?
Yeah,
I was never going to win with you anyway.
Correct. Yeah.
You're telling Trinity Chambliss. I mean, I could have gotten a better player at LSU, so that's why. Kirk Herbstreit is not listening to me. But, dude, don't tell me that those dudes are sitting in that locker room going, oh, listen, you know what? And not only, Lane, are we happy, we're so happy for you that we want you to keep coaching us. Bull. I'm going to say it, Kevin. I'm going to say it. 56 minutes in. I don't ever cuss very much. I don't cuss very much on this show. I cuss a lot outside the show. I don't cuss very much. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. And there's no way around it. There's no other way around it.
If you're going to go, it's fine. Like, you have the right to take what you feel is a better job. Right? He has the right to do that. But if you're going to leave, then leave. It's fine.
Deal with the consequences. Deal with your consequences. Your consequences.
Yes, because you're building on a playoff team.
Own the
and that's fine. But you got to own it. You got to go and just.
And this is not Tulane in North Texas. They know who they are, and they know who they're hiring. And here's the thing with Tulane in North Texas, and this is legit. They know that their best chance to make the playoff every year is to have the next up-and-coming coach.
Yes, that's how it works.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They know they're a stepping stone job. But they also know if we get the right guy who is not turned off by the way we handle things, we have a chance at having the next guy that is going to be hired by Florida or whatever. Also, Ryan Silverfield, Memphis, looks like it's going to Arkansas. Alex Golish from South Florida looks like he's going to Auburn, you said? Is that where we're leaning?
Auburn.
All right. I think we beat that horse to death.
Well, real quick, just
go ahead. Go ahead.
Not about the decision and how it affects Ole Miss's playoff chances, but just thoughts on the potential hire of Lane Kiffin at LSU.
Well, they're going to, everything will be forgotten by everybody by next year. Ole Miss will hate him for the rest of their lives. But
just how it works on the field. Just how do you think it's the fit with Lane Kiffin and LSU?
I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fantastic.
The upside with LSU. So they've never been before. They've never been in this situation.
No.
Never.
So
good for.
Yeah, go ahead.
And look, the reason he probably has chosen to leave is just because at LSU, the upside for recruiting is as high as anywhere in the country. That's the one state that really has no competition when it comes to, another in-state rival. And the kids in that state are loyal to LSU more than kids are loyal to a school in any other state that produces talented football players.
Agreed.
There's no comparison.
Agreed.
In Texas, kids go to Oklahoma, kids go to LSU, kids go to now that once A&M went to the SEC, they started going to Georgia and Florida. But even in the 90s, like kids from Texas were going to Florida State and going to Miami. Kids from Mississippi
Oklahoma.
will go
Kid
to
from Oklahoma went to.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean 5 stars from the state of Oklahoma have gone up to
100%.
Michigan, Ohio State,
LSU. They've gone to
Alabama,
LSU.
correct, Tennessee. So LSU's different. Most of those guys, if they're good enough, they're going to LSU. You have the occasional guys who will go to Alabama, Devontae Smith, Landon Collins, going to Alabama. But for the most part, those kids are going to LSU. So it just gives you an advantage that no place has.
Landon Collins was unique because he was originally from Mobile, Alabama, and got displaced following Katrina.
Okay.
So he was not a homegrown, if I'm remembering right. Somebody fact check me on that, but I'm almost positive he was not a homegrown LSU or Louisiana product.
Gotcha. So yeah,
which speaks to your point, which is further Buckley's point.
Mm-hmm. Like Devontae Smith, you have a few guys who will leave. Eddie Lacy, another example, Louisiana kid who went to Alabama.
You know what? I take that. It might have been. It's either Eddie Lacy or Landon. They both played the same high school.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, my brother went to high school there. Watched him. Eric Reed was there. Justin Reed was there. Yeah. Oh no, that. And you know how many playoff games they won, or how many state championships they won? 0.
It's crazy how that works sometimes, man.
Oh, their coach puckered up in games. I think he's going to do really good. I think LSU is going to support him, and I think I think something will happen. I think Lane Kiffin, if he can't learn from all of his lessons, that what he has is good enough, that who he is good enough, something will happen, and he will be, and maybe he wins a natty at LSU. That's not out of the question. It's really, really possible. I mean, Ed Ogeron won a natty at LSU. Les Miles won a natty at LSU.
Man. Yeah.
So the fact that Lane Kiffin could win one that's not crazy. But what is almost a certainty is he will find a way to screw it up, to burn LSU, to make an irrational move back to the NFL, to just do something that you're just shaking your head and going, but you've got it all. You got it all. It's all right there. And yet I think he'll find some reason to screw it up.
Hey, some people, they just are always looking to the next thing. It's their personality. They can't help it.
Yeah. I brought up before the show, like Chris Peterson from Boise State. That dude stayed at Boise State for 12 years.
Like you said, Mark Pugh. That's even a better example.
Mark Pugh
25 years, 30 years in Gonzaga.
And you know what? Those guys are making they make all the money they need, all the money they want, and they've got a base of loyalty and their character and their dedication and all the stuff you preach as a coach. It will never be questioned of a Tom Izzo or a Mark Pugh, or you know what I mean? All that, all that family and culture and all that stuff. It's not going to be questioned. But I don't know, with Lane, it's hard not to question every single word he says. I still hope he stays at Ole Miss. Maybe it changes.
Here's the thing: the LSU thing. He's walking into kind of a crap show.
Yeah.
I mean, LSU, the way that they've handled the Brian Kelly situation, I'm really surprised that any good head coach is wanting to go there despite all the advantages. Because, I mean, you got the governor involved. I mean, Ole Miss would have matched that $12 million. No way. So? No doubt about it. Yes.
Yeah, they got the
Ole Miss would have matched that. Yeah, they'd have matched that. And they would have matched the recruiting budget. I mean, they're at the peak of their program historically right now.
Look, dude, time will tell. History will decide. I think it's a bad decision. I think it'll be a bad decision if he goes to LSU.
Yeah, I'm just so curious now where Ole Miss goes.
Back to 8-4.
Yeah.
Back to 8-4. And now they got to play Oklahoma every year, and I think we can tell Oklahoma's on the rise, despite their offense. Right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma's on the rise.
It certainly appears that way. I got no arguments with you.
Look at Oklahoma's. I'm just saying because they've got them on the schedule now for the next 4 years. I think it makes it relevant. I mean, look at what Oklahoma's done because of their winning, because winning breeds winning. Look at what it's done to their 26 and 27 recruiting class.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. I mean, the 26 recruiting class was just a crap hole of a recruiting class all the way up until like 3 weeks ago. And now all of a sudden, we got stud after stud decommitting and committing to OU, decommitting, committing to OU. It's like, what? Right?
Yeah, it's crazy what winning does.
And then the 27, last time I checked, we were 1 or 2 in the country. So, look, if you're Ole Miss, I mean, that's what you have to deal with, right? You got to deal with having to. Now, the good news is you get to play Mississippi State. By the way, we didn't even talk about Mississippi State. How about Zach Selman trying to get in Lane's face? What'd you think of that?
I missed? No.
Oh, yeah.
After the game?
No. During the game, Mississippi State cleared their bench to try to start something with Ole Miss. Seriously. And Zach Selman was out on the field talking trash. Which, I'm not surprised by this. Listen, when Zach Selman was at OU and I coached his daughter in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade basketball, which I bet she's a stud now, not because of anything I did, except in still love of the game, you know. But it definitely wasn't any coaching prowess. That dude would get into it on the sidelines.
Okay.
You would think that associate athletic director at Oklahoma maybe meant he needed some decorum on the sidelines in Del City, Oklahoma during a basketball tournament. It did not.
Yeah, he's like, nah,
we're all after it. He would get after it. And so apparently got after it at Ole Miss. Yeah, check the video out. It's pretty funny. All right, I want to talk playoffs. That's enough about Lane Kiffin. If something breaks while we're still on, we'll talk some more about it. But I want to talk playoffs. Okay. This is where we're at. This is what I understand the playoffs to be. Okay. I think the SEC has 3 locks. Locks. Undisputed locks. In Georgia, A&M, and Bama. Do you think Bama is in if they lose to? Should I move them over?
I think they're a near lock.
Okay. The Big
if
12
they get blown out, if they look horrible, I don't know.
The Big 12 has a lock, either Tech or BYU lock.
Yes.
The ACC, I guess I'm giving them a lock. I don't know, especially Virginia. Whatever. If it's not the ACC, it's James Madison, right? So whatever. But that's a lock. The Big 10, I think, has 3 locks: Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody else I don't think anybody else can. I don't think anybody else.
No one there's no consideration.
But those 3 teams, they're in. And then the group of 5 gets 1 team in, winner of Tulane and North Texas. So that leaves, if that's the math, and Alabama is the key here. We can move Alabama over if we want. But that leaves 6 2-loss teams. Am I reading this right? 6 2-loss teams for 3 spots. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, what we consider to be locks. Now, I think Oklahoma is a lock at 10-2. And it sounds like everybody else does too.
Yes.
And their strength of record, strength of schedule, where their wins took place, where their losses took place. I think OU, despite having an eye test issue with their offense, although if you looked at their stats at 393 yards, you'd think, well, maybe they're not that bad.
Yeah, look, a lot of these people I don't know if these people are watching all the games.
But despite having an eye test issue, we think OU's in, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say we have 5 for 2. We have 5 10-2 teams. Here are the 10-2 teams. I'm gonna give you the 10-2 teams. Notre Dame, Miami, Utah, Vandy, and the loser of Tech and BYU. If we think OU's in, which I think OU is locked in. And even if they're not, I think they make this the 6 for 3, right? I think that we can say of the 10-2 teams based on their schedule. I'm not saying they're the best of those 10-2, although when I read those out loud, I think they might be. Like, I think they might
Oklahoma.
Be.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Notre Dame, Miami, Utah, Vandy, Tech or BYU, right? I think OU's probably. So I think OU's in. All right. So 5 for 2.
You're
Notre Dame, Miami, Utah, Vandy, Tech or BYU. For the sake of this conversation, let's just say BYU. Let's just say BYU for the sake of the conversation, make it easier. But we know what we mean when we say BYU. So we're going to just say BYU. Who are your two?
Oh, man. I don't understand how this committee is going to make this decision, because you can make legit valid arguments for or against every team in there, right? Like if you start with Utah, right? I mean, we all know Utah is a tough physical football team, but like, who have they beaten? They beat Cincinnati and I guess Arizona State were their ranked wins at the time, but I don't think Cincinnati ended up being 7-5. They're not ranked, and Arizona State, I don't expect them to be ranked today because they lost to Arizona yesterday. So I would scratch Utah. Are you with me there?
They here's the problem with Utah is they rolled the teams they're supposed to roll, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of not their fault that UCLA sucks so bad, but they beat UCLA 43-10. 63-9 Cal Poly, 31-6 over Utah. They did get beat bad by Texas, but if you're watching that game by Tech, but if you're watching that game, that was a fourth quarter game.
Correct.
But I hear you. They roll West Virginia. They roll a ranked ASU, a close one to BYU on the road. That's a rivalry game, and that's a team ranked in the top 12. They roll Colorado 53-7. Roll Cincinnati, who at the time Cincinnati was good, 45-14. They beat Baylor convincingly, 55-28. Now, this is the game that is like you might pick apart is the K-State game, because that was only 51-47. There's really no reason they should have been that close.
Yeah, and it took a late touchdown, very late touchdown for them to take the lead in that game.
Here's the thing. I understand what you're saying, that they don't really have any quality wins. Especially now that ASU, remember I talked about ASU if they lose to Arizona, and they did. So I just don't know if they got any quality wins. I'll let you cut Utah, but it's close because if you look at their game control stats, I bet their game control stats are really, really good.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. All right, we cut Utah. Utah's cut.
What about Vanderbilt?
I don't know how you leave them out, Kevin.
Okay, let's go through their schedule.
Yeah, you got it there. Okay, good.
I do. Charleston Southern at Virginia Tech, 44-20 victory. Now, South Carolina, we thought South Carolina was good, and they beat them 31-7.
Well, whether they're good or bad, that's a convincing SEC win.
Correct, on the road. And then Georgia State, blowout. Utah State, blowout. And then they go to Tuscaloosa, they lose 30-14.
Okay, 2 score. Yeah, okay.
All right. And then they beat LSU. Now, LSU was ranked 10 at the time. This is the beginning of LSU falling apart, really.
Right.
31-24 against LSU. And then they beat Missouri. I think this is a game where the quarterback got hurt. 17-10 against Missouri. They lose to Texas in Austin, 34-31, a game that they were getting just destroyed through really 3.5 quarters. They beat Auburn 45-38, Kentucky 45-17, and then Tennessee, they beat by 3 touchdowns yesterday.
Okay, so compared to Utah, if we compare them to Utah, they have one strong victory over Tennessee. Right?
Correct.
Who's now 8-4.
Yes.
But it was on the road.
It was on the road. It was a big win. It was a great win.
But that's their only win. That's their only real win.
Correct. That's their only win against a current ranked team.
Okay. All right, let's put Vandy to the side. I'm okay with Vandy. Let's talk BYU. So BYU, if they lose to Tech, okay, they're going to only have 2 losses to what will probably be a top 4 team in the college football playoff rankings. One was on the road without their running back, and the second would have been in Texas at a neutral site. So in terms of quality losses, I don't know that you could have 2 better quality losses than top 4 team in the college football playoff. Now, who did they play? Who would their quality wins be against?
Okay. I'm going to the whole schedule. Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, who's a solid team, but they're not ranked. They did beat Utah.
Aren't they 25th? Aren't they 25th now, or were they 25th when they beat them?
Who, Arizona?
Yeah.
I think they're actually 25th. Let's see. Well, you pull that up while I keep going through these scores.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
They beat Utah. Iowa State on the road. They go to Lubbock. They lose 29-7. They beat TCU. They beat Cincinnati. And they beat Central Florida yesterday.
So is their best win at 10-2 Utah? And Arizona was 25th.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Arizona,
so
Arizona will be ranked. So Arizona will be ranked.
Okay.
So they've got a win over Utah, who's 10-2, and they've got a win over a ranked Arizona team who's 8-4, I think. Are they 8-4? No, they're 9-3. Utah is now Arizona is now 9-3.
Okay. Great season for them, by the way.
Kevin, I'm saying I think that's 2 better wins than what Vandy had. Right? I think it's 2 better wins than what Vandy had. And I think their losses, if it ends up being BYU, are better losses than Vandy had with Texas and Alabama. Although to say you lost to Texas and Alabama, those aren't bad losses. I just think it's possible that these are better losses.
Yeah.
But let's negate the losses. Forget the losses. I think you got 2 better wins. Utah and Arizona.
Better than
Vandy's wins.
Vandy's wins.
You said Tennessee, 8-4.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still think Tennessee's a good football team.
Okay, but
I think. Was Tennessee better than Arizona?
Okay, let's just say Tennessee and Utah are the same. Which I mean 10-2 and 8-4, but let's just say they're the same. Okay, you still have a better. Then you're who's Vandy's next best win? Well, BYU's next best win is a ranked 9-3 Arizona team.
Yeah.
And that's so you even out the losses, take the losses away, take their 2 best wins away, even though I don't know that you should, but I'll do that for you. I think BYU gets in over Vandy. I think you can cross out Vandy.
You can cross out Vandy.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So that leaves BYU, Notre Dame, and Miami. Look, all season long, we are since the playoff ranking, you can't compare head to head unless all other factors are off the table. I think we're at the point now when it's both 10-2 that all other factors are off the table. I do not know how you can put Notre Dame in ahead of Miami. I just don't know how you can do it.
I agree. Especially, Miami beat them.
That's my point. That's head to head.
Yes, Miami beat them. That's just what it comes down to.
When Notre Dame was significantly better, right? But as the season's gone, they've gotten closer and closer and closer. At this point, let's see where they're ranked in the playoff. So Miami's 12th and Notre Dame is 9th. At what point are they close enough at both 10-2? I mean, to me, they're indistinguishable.
Yeah, and I just don't understand why the committee ranked them so high to begin with.
I don't know either.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, we'll go through their schedule. At Miami, lost. Home against A&M, lost. And they've won every game since, but here are the wins: Purdue, Arkansas, Boise, NC State, USC, solid win there at home. Boston College, Navy, at Pitt, which was a decent win. Syracuse and Stanford.
So the Pitt win and the USC win are good wins.
Yeah.
But do they trump Miami's good win over them?
I don't think so.
So I say Notre Dame's out. I say it's Miami and BYU.
I just don't see them doing that for whatever reason. They just love Notre Dame.
You think they're going to
But,
keep Notre
yeah.
Dame in? Or you think they'll just keep Notre Dame and Miami in and drop BYU?
I don't think they'll
Yeah,
put
but-
Miami. I think they need BYU to lose. If BYU loses to Texas Tech, I think they'll put Miami in
Over BYU?
over BYU.
It'll be Notre Dame and BYU. So you think Notre Dame's in? Is that what it sounds like to me?
I think they're going to be in. I don't know if they should be, but I think they will be. Just because they've had them ranked so high all season long.
I
They just had
understand.
them top 10. You know, they've been so high. I just don't understand why they were
If
so
me and
high.
you- If me and you are in the committee, do you fight me over BYU and Miami? Provided that they lose a close game to Tech. Provided it's not a blowout.
If it's a close game,
Let's
no.
say they lose. Let's say they
No,
lose
I wouldn't pound the
31-24.
table for Miami
31-24
over
to Tech.
BYU. Uh-huh.
31-24 to Tech. Is lost. Do
Yeah.
they get in?
I wouldn't pound the table for Miami over BYU. No.
No.
Because
Would you
here
pound the table for Notre Dame over BYU? I think we both kind of agree Miami should probably be in.
yeah, for all things considered. But here's the thing: with Miami though, their biggest win was what? I mean,
Notre
they beat
Dame?
Pitt. Yeah, Notre Dame in the beginning of the year, and then since then, Pitt at the
Yep.
end of the season. That's really it. So the first game, last game.
I think
They
BYU.
beat
I think
South Florida. We thought South
I
Florida
think
was pretty good.
BYU's wins. I think BYU's wins are almost better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is.
But
And
they
then
love Miami, dude. They love Miami and they love Notre Dame.
they love Notre Dame for sure.
And
They
I
love Notre Dame.
I think that the name recognition alone, those two schools gets them in. If it's BYU, but here's the deal: if BYU beats Tech, I think Tech is in,
Me too.
and so then they have to choose between Notre Dame and Miami.
Correct.
And they're praying that BYU loses so that they can avoid the Notre Dame Miami discussion by having them both in.
Yeah.
But I think if BYU wins and Tech's in, then they have to choose between Notre Dame and Miami.
And I think I still think they would choose Notre Dame.
I know.
I'm with you.
I would
I'm with you.
hate that would, between that and Lane Kiffin leading the playoff team, I don't know what would have happened to this sport. Honest to God.
I don't. And this committee all year has made some weird decisions. And I thought the purpose of this committee was to say that we're going to go by things like a common sense approach by who we feel is a better team, not necessarily what the record is. It's something that they've said before.
Yeah.
So I don't understand, man. And it's either way, right? You go from 4 to 12 and you think, oh, it's easier to pick 12. No, it's going to be just as bad. They're going to be teams that are really upset, fan bases that are pissed because their team got left out. And they're going to argue why and give a good argument as to why their team should have been in. But I think Miami's resume is not great.
Utah is in an unenviable position having lost to Tech and BYU. So either team they go up against, they lose the head-to-head. So I don't think Utah's got a leg to stand because their competition is going to be BYU or Utah. I mean BYU or Tech.
Yeah.
And then Vandy's, although it sounds insane that with a 10-2 SEC team just doesn't have the resume. They just don't have the resume.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. There we go.
So when you look at this, right, you got the like strength of record and all that. Like, have you looked at all that lately?
Not today.
Okay. Strength of record.
Okay, give me
Indiana,
strength
number
of.
one.
Okay. Well, let's just leave it to
Ohio
these
State.
five. Can you show me where these five are? Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Miami, Utah, Vandy, and let's just say BYU.
Okay, so Notre Dame, 13.
Okay.
And then who else?
Miami.
14.
Okay, Utah.
15.
Oh my gosh.
13,
Okay.
14, 15. BYU,
Vandy.
6, by the way.
Is this strength of
Vandy's
record or strength of schedule?
strength of record.
Okay.
We'll do the schedule next. Strength of record, Vandy's 11.
Well, that should indicate that BYU and Vandy should get in.
Yeah. BYU is 6, by the way.
What strength of schedule?
All right, strength of schedule.
And what's the difference between those two stats? Do you know?
Not exactly. Okay, here's what it
Okay.
says. Strength of record is reflects chance that an average top 25 team would have team's record or better given the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Reflects
What's
chance that an average top 25 team would have basically your record or better given the same schedule.
okay?
Yeah. Strength of schedule. Okay. This is where it gets a little interesting.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, 42.
Okay. Miami.
44.
Utah.
57.
Holy crap. Vandy.
22.
BYU.
35.
Both of those metrics point to Vandy and BYU.
Yes.
Both of those metrics. I gotta tell you, there's an argument. I still think, and we're gonna beat this to a dead horse. We still got another week to decide, see what's going on. But there's just, to me, there's still an argument about Miami not making their conference title game.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's awful. That's just awful.
Yeah.
All right. Listen,
real quick.
Go ahead. All right.
Is there any chance that the committee even considers Texas at all?
I mean, you were 16th going in. I think that's the sign.
I agree. We talked about those metrics that we were just talking about, right?
You're going to jump
Strength
Michigan
of record.
off. Yeah.
12.
Okay.
For Texas. Strength of schedule, 8.
No, I agree. And your wins over Oklahoma and A&M are as good as there are, obviously. But it's that Florida loss, man. You talk about the worst losses. BYU's only losses to Tech. Vandy's only losses are to Alabama and Texas. Utah's only losses are Tech and BYU. Miami has bad losses, if you want to throw Miami in there. And then Notre Dame, your only losses are to A&M and Miami. So Texas, the Florida loss against those other 5, 10, and 2 teams.
Yeah, we've got the worst loss.
It's the absolute worst loss. It's not close. There's not even another one out there that you go, oh, well, I mean, maybe. No. Florida was.
Does Texas also have the best win?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
A&M, OU.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame beat. Oh, no, Notre Dame lost. Yeah.
Yeah, we're the only team that beat A&M.
If BYU could beat Tech, they'll have a pretty good win. I mean, BYU's in.
Yeah,
I mean,
that would be a great. Yeah, no, that's a great win. If that would be one of the best wins of the season. It's just so interesting, right? So I'm just curious to see how that factors into their discussion. I've already accepted the fact that Texas is, in all likelihood, not going to be a playoff team, right? But I'm just curious if you just put everything on the table. What's the discussion like with this committee?
I think they're out. I think I think it just disqualifies them.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, I'm only bringing this up because it just popped up, and I want to get your thoughts on it before we close up. Lane Kiffin apparently has dropped an ultimatum to his coaching staff. They either go with him or they do not go with him. He will not take them if they stay with Ole Miss. What's he doing,
really?
man?
Do you know who reported that?
That's on 3 now.
Really?
Followed up by Andy Staples.
Sheesh.
He told them that if they're not on the plane to Baton Rouge today, they won't have a spot on his staff. What are we doing, man?
Oh, man.
All this for this guy?
I know.
Look, whatever, bro. I like Lane as a character.
Yes, he's important to the game.
I like him as a character within college football,
but nothing about him is likable. Like,
my God,
just as a guy.
What you did to Tennessee, even what you did to SC, what you did to, stop it. Whatever. All right. I'm going to close up with some thoughts on Oklahoma. Look, dude, we're in the playoff. And by all accounts, we're going to be hosting. It appears. We'll see how it all shakes out. I think we're hosting. You play Notre Dame. You play Miami. You play BYU. You play Vanderbilt. You got to score some points, dude. It's got to come from somewhere. It has to come from somewhere. They've got, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to sort it out. I don't think it's thumb related anymore. I think I've ended that excuse a couple weeks ago, but maybe it is. Maybe this gives them a couple more times to heal. Maybe this gets Michaela off the offensive line list so we could, have our full complement of our offensive line. Although I thought they were fine yesterday. I thought Newu did a great job at center. He never got his name called. He didn't get any holding calls or anything. So
no,
I don't know that that's a big excuse. So I guess my question for you, if you're an Oklahoma fan, can Mateer, much like Arch did, get it figured out before you play what is arguably going to be one of the best teams on your schedule?
Yes, I think he can. But it's just so weird to be trending down towards the end of the season, right? Usually it goes the other way. Like Arch started off rough and it's gotten better and better as the season's gone on. So I just figure out what it is. Is it the thumb? I just don't see how the thumb would affect the decision making, especially from a clean pocket. So I'm just don't know what to think. Is this just who he is right now?
Well, clearly, whatever he is in his own head.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, to be fair, what you can't take away is he threw 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Or I guess one in the third quarter and one in the fourth quarter to win the game.
Yeah.
That can't be taken away. And I think he's a tough kid. I think he's a good leader. I think his team has his back. But he's got to get it figured out. And look, I hear about Hawkins, and I know what I saw against Kent State. Well, he didn't look great. And you can't sit here and say he lit up the world. Nobody can. And if he would have, we might not have played Mateer against Texas. If the coaching staff had any faith in him, there's a really good chance Hawkins probably plays against Texas.
Yes, because you chose to start him last year against Texas. It's not like he had to start, right? Yeah. You chose to start him. So, you thought enough about him to start him over Jackson Arnold against Texas last year.
Yeah. And so, Michael Hawkins' dad could be upset about it. I'd probably be upset about it too.
Yeah.
I'm not dogging on the guy. We were all thinking it. But I also think at the end of the day, Mateer's your guy. And so I think Arbuckle, he drew up a really good game plan yesterday and it just wasn't executed. We got to get that execution down. I think our defense has a chance to get even healthier, right? You're going to get, we've got this stretch.
Thomas back.
We've gone this stretch without our Mason Thomas. Hopefully he's back. I hope that's not anything, he's running around the sidelines and high-fiving.
Yeah, you'd hope with a month.
Yeah.
To prep, you can get him ready to go.
All right, that's where we're at. Kevin, a successful season for OU. Texas 2-0 against Oklahoma and A&M. Never a bad year. Pretty good all around. The Lane Kiffin saga continues. We'll follow it all. We'll see you next week. Kevin, have a great week. Boomer.
Okay.